Yo, what's up guys, welcome back. Eldlich, Numeron Eldlich that is, and the reason why that I'm picking this deck up again, first of all because, you know, Numeron will be released in the TCG really soon, I believe somewhere in August, if not mistaken, not really sure about the correct date. But the biggest reason is the Sacred Beast structure deck. There is like that small engine, it's a one-card engine, it's not really new. But that's the reason why I wanted to try out this deck again. The one-card engine consists of either opening the continuous spell, I believe, what's it called, the 7 Gates Spirits, or the 7 Spirit Gates Unleashed, that's the name. Either that one or the Dark Beckoning Beast, since both of them search out at their level 1, right? The Chaos Summoning Beast, I believe the name is, and that equals Eldlich Kuriboh. Of course, the Anima summon, you know, the relinquished Link one, and that equals 3 Darks. To go for Curious. So again, Curious sending, well, you're playing Eldlich, right? And either sending Eldlich from your deck to the graveyard for some beneficial mills, maybe, or Eldlich spell or trap. Well, you know, you get the point, right? It's free fodder, mill fodder, free Foolish Burial, plus the fact that it stays on the field. It's a Link 3 that could potentially turn itself into a Link 4 play, being the access code talker, basically putting your opponent on like a clock, or potentially making, like, as you see here, a big push. At the same time, let's say if your opponent like destroys your Lightsworn Curious, you can get back something from the graveyard, so again, that's really cool. Or something really cool. I've seen some OCG lists, you know, like Eldlich, Numeron is somewhat popular in the OCG, and Numeron is on its own is really disgusting. You're going first, having the access to get some free Exceed summons. I was running the, what is it called, the Link 3 that needs, you know, the Link that's being played in Zodiacs, that needs like, I forgot its name, you know which one I mean. It's like a Masterpiece 2.0, reborns an Exceed from the graveyard. That might be an option, but I feel that there are better options, you know, you could use your extra deck space for. But yeah, anyway, this was a fantastic duel, going second tier, immediately getting blown away by the potential, well, first of all, Mulling Glacier losing 2 cards. I lost pretty much the best cards, as in, this is fine. You know, you can just use the trap cards from the graveyard. So the Mulling Glacier has been made like null and void. Plus the fact that my opponent sacrificed the battle phase, you know, getting rid of the benefit or the extra monster occupying one of the main monster zones. So this way there was, you know, the potential, well, eventually going for Calamity's play. Can, you know, destroy the Calamities here, but I'm still under the Calamities, I believe, calling light, so I can't, you know, go into the battle phase. Wasn't able to use the Eldlich in my hand. Then again, I don't think I had like a spell, unless of course like the 7 Spirit Gates, searching the Dark Beckoning Beast. You know, get it out of the deck. I really like the engine, it can be splashed into a lot of decks, simply because, again, it's a one-card Curious play, with like a small risk, I guess. You're running those triple continuous spells, like opening the Dark Beckoning Beast is good. I mean, that's your one-card engine. Opening like the one-off continuous is cool. I mean, opening with that continuous equals your full combo, so that's cute. The small downside of the engine is that, of course, as soon as you use the like the Curious play, you're ending up with multiple dead continuous spells in your deck, and same counts for the Chaos Summoning Beast, the level 1, which if you open with it, it's not really that great. I mean, you'd rather want to search it out, right? Sweet top deck, any spell would do it. Obviously, it's the most useless spell, you know, in the deck that you're drawing here always. Not the field spell, no. But this should be my duel. Searching the last one, you know, it's something that pops pops a monster from the opponent. And the thing here with like the Diva Atlantean deck is that it can definitely play around something like Nibiru. Having double Nibiru is sweet against the deck, because the Diva play only gets rid of 1 Nibiru. But I mean, if your opponent has the ability to play around or prevent the 5th summon from going off, your Nibiru is useless, and that's what happens here. So this should be more than enough to attack for a game. I mean, next turn, right? The Ash Blossom is not going to cut it, using the, you know, the hero lifts for the Eldlich archetype. going for the Train Gustav Max, I believe the name is, and that's where, you know, like the extra deck space is somewhat tight, because again the Curious play is is asking some extra deck space, like one Link Rebo, the one Anima, the relinquished Link monster. Curious itself acts as score talker to maybe use your Curious on field for the potential Link 4 Exceed play, or Link 4 Link play, and of course the Exceed monsters. Not really sure if I feel the ratios for their, or at least for the Numeron cards, is fine. I'm not really sure about the correct name, but one of them is at 1, while the other ones are at 2. Outside, of course, their Burn Boss monster. That's just fine as a one-off. Terraforming, obviously. I've seen OCG builds running like the Planet Pathfinder as well. I kind of like that. Okay, that card uses up your normal summon. That can be important if you, let's say, will have like your Dark Beckoning Beast. But, well, on the contrary, if you're using your field spell, you can't, you can't control any monsters, and if as soon as you use the field spell, the Numeron field spell, by special summoning your Exceeds from the extra deck, you're only being able to special summon once for the rest of the turn, right? So, I guess sacrificing your normal summon for a Planet Pathfinder, I guess it's fine, but I just don't have the space in my main deck for that. I'm also main decking Numeron Wall. I've seen OCG builds not running Numeron Wall. I get why, because I believe it has like the restriction that you can't control any cards, right? And that's very restrictive, because that means it might become dead starting turn 2 or 3, depending when like if you started or your opponent started. So that's why, okay, I guess why like OCG decided to drop, like or some OCG players decided to drop the Numeron Wall from the main deck. But then again, it's a theme type, it's a level 1 as well, so it can be good for something to reborn from the graveyard with your 7 gates field spell, you know, your Sacred Beast, no, not the field spell, but the continuous spell. Zexal. Well, Zexal is still a card that prevents your opponent from playing the game if they don't have like the Forbidden Droplet. Or I believe the DCG name is like just one Forbidden Drop, I believe the name is. It's at 1 in the deck. The main deck currently runs like 42 cards, but you know, like feel free to make it like 41 or maybe 40 cards sharp if you want. It's a cool card. Same for Phantom Knights. I definitely like the card in there as well. The just one Forbidden Drop. But I mean, it's again, I'm running well over 40 cards, so I just don't have the space to make more. And as you saw in the side deck, I definitely want to fit in more cards like Veiler, right? The reason why I'm not running like the Synchro package, Jet Synchro, you know, like Aurora Dawn, Needle Fiber, nobody cares. Everyone is fed up, including myself. Like really, yeah, everyone is fed up with like the Aurora Dawn engine. I'm definitely looking forward to like September, who knows, not really sure if Konami is going to hit that particular engine, probably not, who knows, we don't know. But yeah, that's why one of the reasons why I just went for the Numeron builds. Again, will be new, like somewhere in August, right, when we're getting the cards. So anyway, long story short, anyway, against Adam and Sepater going first, and of course you can play around Nibiru by only special summoning like 3 from your extra deck monsters, your 3 Exceeds, and then going for your 4th summon being the Zexal, and go from there. But I mean, the fact still remains is that during your 3rd turn, like here, if your opponent had Nibiru going first, you going first, you will eventually run into it. Like, well, if I had a combo, right, the Curious combo, that is, the Curious combo was ready, because Eldlich on their own, if it's not using like the Jet Synchron Needle Fiber package, you're not really running into a Nibiru, right? I mean, pure Eldlich does not have the capabilities to spam their entire field full of Eldlich monsters or trap monsters. Or at least get them to 5, or you know, you can definitely play around Nibiru if it isn't for the Synchro package. So yeah, sadly this was one of the duels why I was still running like Call by the Grave. I mean, Call by the Grave, as you saw in the OCG, is that Ghost Ogre is getting more popular because of the Numeron field spell. You want to have that can be Ghost Ogre, if I'm not mistaken. So having something like Call by the Grave might be needed, because the format might be different, right? I mean, the big difference compared to, at least with this build and the regular Jet Synchron build, is that I'm not running the Magician's Souls package. which you can definitely main deck. I definitely like it still in the deck. 3 pluses. But again, needs more main deck space. And yeah, of course, it's the Jet Synchron package, right? But I mean, the deck is pretty straightforward, right? And again, nobody wants to see like Auroradon shenanigans. And who knows, the Link Cross might also get banned for us TCG players. Or Helki Fibrax or Auroradon maybe. Yeah, probably TCG is going to go ahead with the Auroradon hit. Anyway, so Eldlich on the field, having the trap that banishes on the field. That's cool. The overtext is not that fantastic. Yeah, indeed, I think I negated... Yeah, indeed, the miscellaneous source, just in case, right? If Conductor hit the field, definitely would have been able to destroy it with the Eldlich trap. And now I'm in full control of the duel. I think no, probably not, right? Not being able to go for a game, since I'm going to sacrifice it. No access code target because of Link Kuriboh, that's cool. Curious can just... okay, yeah, that's the thing. Okay, good play. Suiciding with the Curious, getting by the counter trap, and making sure that my opponent can't really play Yugioh. That's it. That's how it is, right? Yugioh in 2020. Make sure that your opponent can't play the game. And Conductor is a sweet top deck, but well, this doesn't really matter, right? I think I had like the trap set that destroys a monster from my opponent, and the Conductor effect doesn't really matter too much, but definitely could have kept the trap card, right? But in the long run, it doesn't really matter too much. Next duel, going second, and the thing now, and that makes like the Numeron like more dangerous, is that okay, going first, it's super flexible, just go for Sexal, right? Or maybe make like a Link play, the Link 3-1, like the Fortress, which one I mean, the card, the Link that plays, Arzuniak also plays. Not really sure about that, but just make Sexal. I mean, prevent again your opponent from playing the game. They have to have like a Forbidden Droplet or Impermanence, right, or Chalice to shut down your Sexal from triggering, so they'll be able to play. But if they don't, or if they can't, you can just follow it up with like, your Eldlich shenanigans during your own play or during your own turn. Eldlich hits the field, and again, potentially getting 3 pluses again during my turn by banishing the traps, maybe the spells as well, searching the counter trap, pretty much to seal the deal. Last example, going second again, and this is cute. I mean, and that's one of the reasons why the Numeron wall, the monster, the level 1 monster, might be a bit better to compare to Planet Pathfinder, is that the Numeron wall can banish itself from, or like use the effect during your opponent's turn, right? To potentially get like a dead copy from your deck and immediately activate it on the field without any consequences. But yeah, Nibiru prevents the field spell from triggering, so now I try to get a Curious play going and maybe go for game. If there is like no interruption, so Link Kuriboh hits the field, discard something with like the continuous spell, going for Curious, probably sending Eldlich, and then this should be the duel, right? Maybe get lucky with some extra mills, probably not. Yeah, that makes this like engine quite disgusting, because again the continuous spell can be used for the Eldlich summon from the graveyard, and this like Sacred Beast engine is really cool for the deck, because it does a lot. It gives like a continuous spell for the Eldlich monster in the graveyard, gives you a Curious play. It's really cool. It's really something to explore more on or upon. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.